Hey everybody, this is Mickey G. You know, for some folks, this is a great time of year. College football on the weekend, and a lot of us live and die by how well our teams perform over the weekend. And Rodney and I take a look at that and also the history of the sports with our kids and grandkids. So we hope you enjoy this edition of Old Fools Talking Old School. But I have to admit to you, brother, I was pulling against your team today.
Mm-hmm.
You watch that Texas Vanderbilt game?
Yeah, I got my Saturday piss off.
I said I was pulling for my boys. If Vanderbilt ain't done much in a long, well, they had a pretty good run for a couple of seasons when James Franklin was down there. They did a
Yeah.
couple seasons when he was there. But they playing some good ball. There's safety that number one for him is from McMinnville. They
Oh,
say
is
he's
that right?
probably they say he's probably gonna go to the big dance. He was, I think, rated. He was a preseason All SEC
Oh, okay.
candidate and stuff, but they think he's got a pretty bright future. But just glad to see old Vanderbilt finally win some good games. I mean, they won games before, but
Mm-hmm.
they
Well,
they
they
usually
whoop
beat.
Alabama's ass.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they,
Yeah,
if the quarterback hadn't messed up two or three times, they probably had a chance against Texas today. But
yeah, cause
he throwing the
Texas,
ball up and all that kind of mess.
Texas will sure give it to you, and uh, it ended up being a good little old game, but
Yeah, yeah.
hell, and Texas they just went on a damn penalty fest. I mean, what they had 2 touchdowns called back, and but I sat up here and watched. Well, let me take that back too. My son came over and cut my hair because he had a he had a date tonight too, but he cut my hair and then he was doing his up over here. And like, Dad, I get back home and so I can check out this Texas game because I'm probably gonna have to leave before it's over. I'm like, okay, because he's a bigger Texas fan than I am. I said, boy, I'm sorry I put that on you, man. And but he had him a little date, so he was getting all primped up. I said, go ahead then, partner.
I heard that.
And
Yeah, yeah. I was watching that today. I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna tell my boy Rodney." I was pulling against him today, though.
hey, bro, I understand. I thought about you when they played Tennessee. I said, I know Mickey pulling for them volunteers.
Yeah, they're another one of them teams that can be very frustrating to watch too. I mean, sometimes they play lights out, especially on offense, because about Heupel and all his offensive mind and stuff. Then sometimes they play like they got a bunch of freshmen out there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they can be the same way too. Just seem like as soon as they start to move them up in the polls, that's when they start playing their worst ball.
Yep. That's Texas too. Yep. Sure do, man. And I looked at them. I was just waiting for it. I try not to be a pessimist because they got some good talent, but I'm like, so how they gonna mess this up now? And I knew exactly because he's trying to protect yours
Mm-hmm.
because he's projected first round pick. But they had a good little connection going with Manning there. I'm like, don't break that up. Don't break up that continuity. I mean, you can slowly bring him back in, but sure enough, bring him back. Well, I think they won one, but then they got their butts toasted by Georgia. Georgia, boy, they were tearing Texas up.
They were.
I'm like, damn. I always pride of Texas, and we got some good athletes. Boy, them Georgia brothers had them boys looking like junior high.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, for as good as well as they played against Texas, when they played Alabama, it seemed like they couldn't do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So it just depends. Like I said, you got young kids out there, and they
Yeah.
sometimes they just I know I was listening to LSU's coach talking about they just basically when they get teams down they can't put them away, so
Put them away.
they like talking on the sideline like they done won the game and stuff, and then they come back and get beat. So you just them young kids, you never know. You
That's
never know.
right. I guess it was the old man and me talking today because I was sitting up there. I'm like, you know, They're just young kids, and them young kids are copycats. And I'm sitting up here looking at, you can be down by 50 points, and if you tackle somebody for a loss, you up celebrating. What you
Mhm.
celebrating for? You know,
Yeah.
them dudes out there, wide receivers. If the guy break up a pass, he throwing his hands up and all that. I'm like, I'll come right back at and toast your ass. You know.
Yeah. But man, it flows all the way down to young kids. I was watching uh Donovan's season in baseball this year, and
Hmm.
this is the first year he played kid pitch baseball, and eh, they walk about 90% of the base run. I mean, they can't pitch that well at eight
Right.
9 years old, But anyway, these kids, I mean, one of them came out there, he got a sleeve on his arm.
Yeah.
Another one came out there, he stepped into the batter's box, man, stepped in the batter's box, touch home plate with his bat. Then he puts his hand out like calling time for the pitch, And I'm like, wait a minute, these kids can't even get the ball over the plate. Why are you calling time for the? I'm like, these guys have been watching too
Yep.
much, and I know that of course they have access to all the games and stuff. They see what the big kids do. They try to emulate them. I know that, but
Yep.
it's one kid came out. He had protectors on both arms. I'm like, come on now, protect on both arms.
If you hit the
I
ball, you
laughed.
can't even get it to go
Well, that's what I'm
nowhere.
saying. Yeah, yeah. I'm like, but now, I must admit, like I say, with the pitchers being a little wild, they do hit quite a few of them. I must admit.
I can imagine.
Yeah, they do hit a few, so I can understand that. But yeah, I see it at that age, and I know it's just like you say, sort of a copycat thing. They see the older people, the pros doing it,
Yeah.
and they just copied it. That's all they're doing. But that's sort of the society we're in now.
Oh yeah.
You have access to all that.
They had a sports highlight show here of the high school kids around here.
Mhm.
His little running back broke loose and scored a touchdown. And then he threw up the Q sign. I'm like, you don't even know what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah.
I knew they were desperate for people to get in there, but I didn't know they was going to high school recruiting.
Yeah, that's the way it is, man. They like that. I had to get on Donovan. Well, I got on Donovan and Tara. She went out and she bought it, I think, 2 sets of batting gloves. So of course he wanted to wear his gloves. So she
Yeah.
put his glove. He went out there to bat. He had his gloves on. He went out there to play the field. He had both gloves on. I said, "No, you don't wear a glove on when you got in the field. You got to keep your throwing on hands bare." And he looked at me, "No, Papa, I want to wear it." I'm like, "You don't wear your glove in the field on you. You can wear the one with your glove hand. That ain't a problem. But you don't have a glove on your throwing hand."
Right.
He didn't know he had 2 gloves to bat with. He's gonna take 2 gloves to the field.
That's it.
So yeah, it was funny. But I also saw this thing on my Facebook feed. It was something I think junior college or Division II college, whatever. And the caption said, and something like, and which one do you think is the Alabama transfer? And it showed the kids running out of the locker room, and they were all, like maybe 5'10", 170, 180, something like that. Then all of a sudden, this dude came out with like 6'6", 350 pounds. I said, I think he's the Alabama transfer. It was funny the way they said, see which one do you think is the Alabama transfer? They run it out of the locker room, all of them about the same size. And then here comes this big dude. I said, yeah, I think he's the Alabama transfer.
Yeah, boy.
Oh,
Seriously, There's something else, man.
it is. It is. It is. I tell you, it's just looking at stuff and how things have changed through the years. But that's sort of the world we live in now.
Yep.
Things. I mean, I'm just trying to think. I was telling Tara, so I don't remember wearing batting gloves even all the way up through Babe Ruth. I may have. I just don't ever remember wearing batting gloves. And we had wood bats because they use aluminum bats.
Yeah.
So we had wooden bats, and we might put some tape on the bat handle. I said, but
Mhm.
other than that, I said, I don't remember wearing gloves when I played Babe Ruth balls, I may have, but I just don't remember. But they got all that stuff. I mean, they got the gloves and they got the sleeves and they got all that stuff.
Oh man, hey, Dix is very happy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Because when the last 2 years that he's played, he's at that age where he's starting to grow a little bit. And I told Tara, I said, Tara, I ain't going out to Dick's and Academy Sports and paying $500 and $600 for gear that he ain't gonna be able to wear next year.
Right.
Man, I take him out there. They got a place. It's not Play It Against Sports, but it's sort of like Play It Against Sports.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we go in there and we see what they got. I said, now, some of the stuff in there, I said, no, I don't, you ain't putting that on. I said, like they brought that in here, didn't even wash it kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But they got other stuff like bats and things like that
right.
we go in there and buy them and pay, a third because they have new stuff. I mean, you can buy the new stuff.
Right.
And I'm looking like, why would I want to pay, $100 something for a bat that I can get for $30 that he's, I don't even know if he's going to use it 2 years because they've got rules on the bat side. It can only be so long and weigh so much.
Oh,
for
really?
For each division they play in, they've got rules on that. It's got to be a USBA approved bat, and it's got to have that tape, that logo on the bat. Or there's been a number of games they've gone to, especially start of the season, and the umpire said, no, he can't use that bat. It's got to have that USBA sticker on it, and this one don't have it. And they've had to go in and just grab somebody, the kid's bat to go out there and use it because they're pretty strict about that kind of stuff too. So I'm like, no, we ain't paying that kind of money.
Hey, I know what you mean. I learned the hard way on that. Wasn't with the sports equipment, but when Philip showed interest in playing music, he joined the band and all that, and then he got first chair, and then I'm like, oh, he might be serious about this. So I went out and bought him a trumpet. Biggest damn mistake. I bought him the trumpet that 1 year. The next year he didn't want to play it no more. I was like,
no, man.
I could just hang you out this window and drive. and those band instruments are expensive, boy.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, man, if he's showing this interest, I let him go that first year, and then he got the second year, and it was like I said, he got first chair. I'm like, oh, this might be promising. I'm because when they had the one, they had to leave it at school.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking, well, I'll just get his own. That way he can practice at home. That Negro didn't do la-di-da. Well, I tell you what he did. After he got grown, we still had the trumpet here. Yeah, he sold it. I was like, I think that was my trumpet.
I've been down that road before too of the girls, selling things and all. I'm like, did you buy it? Why you think you can sell it?
Yeah. Yeah, he sold it, man. I was like, I'll be darned. I said, don't even tell me what you got for it because I'm going to just get madder.
Right.
And, but yeah, I said, okay, from now on, until you show an express interest, it's going to be rental for you.
That was just like at the school, they sent a thing out on this little app they have for the school saying they was having a meeting for parents about the chess club that they were getting at school. Mm-hmm. So, Don, you know how kids are. I got chess sets around here. Papa, teach me how to play. Teach me how to play. I was like, Don, I ain't played chess in so long. I don't know if I even know all the men on the teams. And I mean, I'm trying to think of what this piece is and what that piece is. But he sort of like showed an interest. So, Karis, I'm gonna go sit in and see what they say. So they said they got an actual coach this year, chess that played chess competitively and everything. So she came back and she said, yeah, Dad, they said they're gonna have a team. They're gonna be meeting, and Don was showing interest. I said, okay, how much is it? $500. I said, what? Because this guy's he's a professional. He used to play. I said, no. I said, I said, did you say can maybe he come to a couple of sessions just to see if he's still going to have an interest in it? She said, no, I didn't ask him that. I said, well, I'm going to call over and ask somebody because I ain't no way for an 8-year-old.
No,
said, "No,
they
I ain't
trying they
paying that kind of money."
pay his salary.
Yeah. I said, "No, I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna pay that kind of money to take a chance on just like you said, him liking it today and not liking it tomorrow, you
Yep.
know." So
Yep.
I said, "No, we ain't gonna do that." I asked her, matter of fact, I asked her yesterday. She called over and talked to him. I said, "No, I ain't called him." I said, "Well, give me a number. Let me call over and just see if they would be with." If they say no, I mean, ain't no big deal. But if they say, yeah, he can come to maybe a couple of a meeting just to see if he still has interest, we might think about it at that point. But it
Mhm.
would have to be something that as I would tell him, I don't care if you got COVID, you go into that practice this
Ah,
time, that kind of money, you gonna go.
yep.
But I don't know. I don't know. He just at that point to where he wants to be into everything.
Mhm.
But once he gets into it, some of the stuff is like, no, he was even doing that some with baseball this year. He had seemed like less interest of going to practice and stuff. And matter of fact, uh, after I guess about halfway through the season, we'd say, Donovan, they got practice on Sunday. I don't want to go, Papa. Okay. They had batting practice on Thursday, Friday. Well, Friday's when we usually go out as a family to eat. So I knew that was outside. I said, okay, you don't go to batting practice on Thursday? No, Papa, I don't want to go. I said, do you want to still even play? I said, you can't just show up at the games and play. You got to go to practice. Well, the coach started not starting it, letting the other kids play. And he said he was talking to me about that. I said, well, Don, you can't expect not to go to none of the practice and the other kids are and go out there and just walk in and start playing. I mean, he would play, but he usually wouldn't start when they had more than the 9 players.
Right.
But I even asked him. I said, you want to just stop? No, I want to play. I want to play. I said, well, you need to go to practice. But he, for whatever reason, he just wasn't into it like he had been before, but he made it through the season and they went through matter of fact, they had a little tournament, double elimination that they had to beat both games or they're out of it. But,
Mhm.
I just know sometimes he can be real enthusiastic to start things and then he slumps off at the end. And,
Yeah. And,
I,
and that's normal, you know, with him, because that's how I started gauging how far I was gonna go into. Because I was always happy for him to do it. Like, yeah,
right.
yeah, I wanted to be that wanted us to be those parents that follow them all over the state wherever they going,
Mm-hmm,
kind of
mm-hmm.
thing, And when I got involved with him and started coaching, I made him play 1 year. Like, you don't want to play. I made him play, and then after that, I stepped back and just because if you love it, you'll want to play. You'll be begging to play,
Right.
and that's the gauge I use. And like if you don't say nothing, I ain't gonna say nothing because I know growing up myself, hell, didn't nobody have to ask me to go. I was looking forward to going to practice
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
that kind of thing. So I just stopped at that. But I made him play 1 year because Lynn was very good at that. I don't want to play. I said, how do you know? You ain't never played the game. I know, but I just don't know you're gonna play. I made him play soccer, boy. That was rougher on me than it was him getting up at a old dog 30 cutting up damn orange and,
Right.
and it's cold as hell out there. He's out there running up and down the field one day. He ran over to the side. Hey, Dad, it's cold out here. I said, yep, it certainly is, because I'm freezing my nuts up off here. Well, we getting up at 7 o'clock on a Saturday morning to go watch some kids run soccer.
Mm-hmm,
And I was
mm-hmm.
like, man, but after that, I gave him a choice. I said, hey, you want to play? No, I don't want to play. Okay. You don't want to do it. I ain't gonna make you do it. You can't make nobody love nothing.
No, you can't. Like you say, it ain't worth time trying to sort of convince them to play because you shouldn't have to do that.
You're right.
They should have that desire to want to be out there every day.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So I understand too. I was talking about this one kid that was on Donovan's team that this is the first time he's ever played any kind of sport. His dad brought him out there. He said he wanted him to try, baseball and stuff. So he came out and you can tell from you know, you could look at kids and say, yeah, he's not very athletic. I don't know if he even has ever hit the ball the whole season, you
Right.
know. And I told him, I said, well, I didn't tell them. I was telling Marion as we were talking about it. I said, I don't think I would have done my son and brought him out to kids pitch to start with, because he could have still played coach pitch. Because
Right.
you can play coach pitch as an 8-year-old. I said I would have probably took him to coach pitch for a year, where he gets a chance to really get decent pitches to try to hit. Let
Mm-hmm.
him. I mean, he didn't even know where the bases were.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, first practice, coach said, "Go." Said, "Well, you go to third base," and he looked at him like, "What are you talking about?" He said,
Mm-hmm.
"That base right over there, third base." And he ran over there, and you could tell he was lost, and he
Mm-hmm.
didn't do a whole lot better during the whole season. But I said, those are the kind of situations that I said, I just don't think I would have done that. If he said or if I had more to sort of convinced him to try a sport, I think I would have started him at the coach's pitch level. I wouldn't have started him at the kids' pitch, just because of the fact that they don't get a chance to really hit the ball, because they just so wild pitching. You don't get
Mm-hmm.
that chance, and as a result, you don't get them many chances to field the ball, because it's all pretty much walks. They don't hit a lot. But I guess the dad made a decision he thought was best for his kids. But I just felt he
He's
was starting
probably
at too high of a level.
Yeah. He's probably want to do it for his kids because he's not athletic. Because you would have thought that he would have at least talked to him about the game and showed him some things. He, at a minimum, you should know where first and second and third base is.
Yeah, yeah. He didn't know that. He didn't know where the bases were. I mean, he would get up and they'd get him on the base to run the bases. He just didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Just didn't know what to do. And I said that's a contrast, because Donovan started playing t-ball when he was 4, which I thought was way too young.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like 4 years old, but he wanted to play, and we took him out there and he played. Of course, he was playing in the dirt more as he was playing in anything else, but he was out there. And
Right.
I said, you got somebody like Donovan. Now he's been playing baseball for now 4 years, and
Mm-hmm.
this kid is coming in brand new and trying to learn. It's almost like somebody that hadn't played ball before, and they're gonna try to go out for the high school team kind of thing.
Right.
I just think it was just way over his head. Of course, they're 8-year-old. It's not that big a deal, but I still thought the dad had probably started him too young. I mean, not in too high of a level. Should have gave him a year to do that. But you never know. I mean, you never know, like you say, what the motivation is behind it. I think he wanted to get him out and get him engaged. He seemed like the kind of kid that probably was more comfortable at home in front of a video game kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that was a situation. He wasn't doing anything athletic wise, and his dad wanted to
Mm-hmm.
sort of get him into that kind of environment.
Well, a lot of times that's exactly what it is. And it's about socialization. Some of those kids are not, they're not social and they're not around kids
Mm-hmm.
because they're around adults all the time. Because I know when I was coaching the T-ball thing, we had some people out there. It's basically just come out there and basically coach my kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
You ain't doing nothing with them, because I'll be the first to admit my thing. Well, we're gonna have fun, but I'll be damned if we ain't gonna try to win, And they but they was bringing their kids out to socialize and be around kids. I I used to get so frustrated, but then I had to remember they just kids,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Group of them, no matter where they hit the ball, they could be on third base playing third base. If they hit it down the first base line, they all run over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, what are you running over there for? and, and good, Johnny, good little Johnny, way to go. I was like, shut the hell up. One little girl, I caught myself putting her out of the way. I put her over in right field. Of course, where them little boys start hitting the ball, they hit it to right field.
Right.
She's sitting down picking up them 4-leaf clovers.
I've seen plenty of that too.
I'm like, man, you just need to back off. They ain't ready, And I said, well, I guess we're gonna put emphasis on the fun part, cause ain't nobody else doing nothing. Dude, little boy hit the ball, and he run down third baseline. No, back that way. I don't care how many times we had them bat in practice and show them what to do. When they get in that game, boy, they just lose it all. And I'm
Yeah,
like, boy,
yeah. I've seen it. I've seen it. But the good thing, and once again, about that coach pitch league was they hit the ball.
Yeah.
Because coaches, were good about throwing, strikes most of the time.
Right.
They got a chance to field the ball, and in this kids pitch league, you don't really get much. Your most that you get action is in practice when the coaches are, taking infield and things like that. Because during the game, you don't hardly get any action at all. Matter of fact, that game they had Thursday night. I called Marion on my way back from McMillan to ask her how the game was going. She said they were behind, but Dominic got a hit. I said, he got a hit? He actually got a pitch he could hit? Said, yeah, he finally got a pitch he could hit. And I asked him about it. I said, yeah, you got a hit. I said, what kind of pitch did he throw you? He said, Papa, he was throwing really slow. I said, he was. He was throwing really, and that's another issue they have
Right.
is these kids are trying to throw the ball 90 miles an hour and have no kind of control.
Right.
And they be, like I said, they'd be hitting these kids left and right. And I was, Donovan he said, Papa, I want to pitch. I want to pitch. So we go out in the backyard and then pitch. And I would tell him the first thing, you're going to start out throwing the ball, not slow, but throwing it easy till you can learn how to throw strikes. And when you learn how to throw strikes and get a little bit of that muscle memory, then you can crank up a little bit more than that. Because, he wanted to try to throw the ball as hard as he could. Mm-hmm. And I think that's their mindset.
Oh, yeah.
I got to throw the ball hard. I got to throw the ball hard. I said, no, it's about being able to throw the ball with some control, because that's a lot of the issues that they have out there. But as you say, you get to the point to where you say, okay, there's supposed to be a 5-inning games with an hour and 15-minute time limit. Most of the games might make it to the 3rd inning, but that's about it. Because they be walking so many people and stuff. If they get to the 3rd inning, it's a long game.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's like old Philip there. He could play his behind out, but when they introduced that 3-point thing, that ruined a whole bunch of kids. I'm like, you can't even get the ball up to the rim from back there. I'm gonna shoot a 3, Dad. No. You learn how to shoot a 2 first. Then wait till you get a little stronger, boy. Like when I would be out there with him, I'd be, now move in. Let's shoot some balls out there, which I wasn't helping because then I was shooting 3. And that's what they wanted to do. So I just stood in there and watched them, looking out the kitchen window. They out there. As soon as I walk in the house, the hell with them 2s. They out there slanging. Slanging that ball all over everywhere, man. I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's what they do. And I'm trying to put in Dom's mind because his basketball season is getting ready to start. I keep trying to tell him, learn how to control the ball, dribble the ball, and go. I said, go as far inside as you can. I said, because same thing you say, y'all just not strong enough at this age and this to be able to throw up these long range shots and things. I said, drive in. And most of the time, you're probably gonna get a foul. But I'm just looking at down the road. He might have a growth spurt when he gets in his teens. Who knows what that's going to be? But I said, right now, he's one of the shorter kids on the team. I said, you need to be able to dribble the ball and drive more than trying to throw up these long range shots. He was doing the same thing, trying to throw up these long range shots and stuff. I said, it's hard for you to even get the ball to the rim. I said, but if you dribble down close, you're that much closer, But once again, it's a hard sell.
Yeah.
It's a hard, because all he talks about is 3s. He likes to throw up them 3 fingers. That's all they talk about is 3s. So it's a hard sell.
It is, man. So they, my thing was, I'm gonna leave y'all alone because y'all ain't ready for the. I'll say something to you about the fundamentals of the game, but y'all ain't ready to listen to what your capabilities are. So the only way they're gonna get that is when they start playing with their peers and they see what the limitations are.
Yeah.
Some things, that we got knowledge of, their mind ain't ready to hear it. So I left them alone. They start playing pretty good. Lynn was like your grandson. He liked game time, but he didn't want to do nothing to lead up to it, not, well, Dad, I'm playing whatever game was being played at that time, Still, I was like, no, you ain't ready. You don't want it like that.
Yeah, it seems like the newer generation's attitude towards sports and preparing for sports has changed. Well, that's life. Things change. Well, we hope you enjoyed this edition. Join us next time for Old Fools Talking Old School. Until then, this is Mickey G. Peace.